Hello everyone. In this tutorial, we are going to see about how Linux is built and what is inside Linux and what is Linux basically, and we are going to see about some basic commands of Linux. So let us see about the Linux operating system. Firstly, the architecture of Linux operating system. Every operating system has its own architecture. Okay, it has its own structure. So the Linux operating system's architecture is this. It has a hardware, and then after that it has a kernel. After that it has a shell, and then it has applications, that is software at the last layer. So what is Linux? So Linux operating system, actually its architecture contains of some components, like as I said before, kernel, libraries, hardware, system, and it has shell. So what is kernel? So kernel is one of the core section of the operating system. Okay, so it is the heart of the Linux. It's the heart of the operating system actually. So it is responsible for each and every action of the Linux operating system. Okay, so it is the core interface between the hardware and its process. For example, let's take, we have a printer and I have Microsoft Office. So Microsoft Office is in the application layer and kernel is here, and this is the hardware. The hardware, let us take it as a printer, and application is Microsoft Office. So in Microsoft Office, I am giving print. I am giving an input to print my paper, what are all I have typed. So this application software sees the operating system to print this page. So a request is sent from the application to the kernel. It doesn't tell to the printer directly. The application cannot interact with the hardware directly. So it goes to the kernel. The kernel, inside it, it has some libraries and all. So that's another concept. So the application says, that is the Microsoft Office, says the kernel, that says the operating system that it wants to print something. The OS, right, it has a kernel inside that. So what that kernel does is, that kernel says the printer to print these pages by using some libraries inside the kernel. So the kernel interacts with the hardware with some libraries inside it. So it is the core interface between the computer's hardware and its process. Okay, and then system libraries. So a library is actually a pre-compiled pieces of code called functions. Okay, so we might heard about the function calls, right? So a system libraries are special programs that helps in accessing kernel feature. So that is what. How does kernel works? Kernel has some inside features, a set of code, which is called as function, which has some header files on our like that. So it has many predefined functions inside the libraries. So using those set of codes, the kernel interacts with the hardware using the library. Okay, and then the hardware layer. The hardware layer, not only printer, every hardware, CPU, hard disk, SSD, RAM, processor, everything, every hardware is interacted with the operating system only because of the kernel. And then the shell. So what is shell basically? So shell is nothing but an interface among the kernel and the user. So I said before that, so we know Linux operating system, right? We use many commands. So how do we use the commands is, we type some commands, tools or some hacking scripts or something. We type something on the shell. The shell, whatever we type, it does the operation. So shell is the interface between the user and the kernel. So if we want to give some input to the kernel manually, then we need to interact with the shell. So there are various shells like Korn, Bash, Bourne shell. So Bash shell actually. So Linux operating system is famous for its Bash shells. Then we have many advantages, that is the features of Linux operating system. Okay, so what are all the features? First thing is, it is portable. So Linux operating system can perform different types of hardware, and the kernel of Linux supports the installation of any type of hardware environment. So like Windows, or sometimes unlike Windows, uh, Linux operating system also suits for any type of hardware. Any hardware can install Linux operating system. Okay, and then it's open source. This is the major advantage of Linux operating system. If you want to install Kali Linux, we go to the Chrome and we download the ISO file, insert it into the VirtualBox or VMware or some other bootable pen drive, and we directly start to use it. So we don't need any product key. We don't need it to purchase any product key like Windows operating system. And then multi-programming. Multi-programming means, like Windows, Linux can also execute a number of programs at the same time. So we run games like GTA or something in one hand, and we do our assignment for a college in another hand, and a Zoom meeting is run as another application, and task manager is run somewhere, and some PDF files are opened. So all the multi-processes are run at the same time, like Windows in Linux also. So multi-programming system, Linux is a multi-programming system. So more than one application can be executed at the same time. And then next, multi-user. So like Linux, right? Like Windows, Linux can also have more than one user. Okay, we can give many users, we can create many users, and then hierarchical file system. So what is hierarchical? An order, a structure. So Linux operating system, right? It affords a typical file structure where the users and the file systems are well structurally arranged, well arranged. So we are going to see about the directories of file system later. So that's what it says. So I'll show you how the folders and directories are created, how it is defaultly present in Linux operating system. So it is really, really well arranged. It's easy to search for a folder. And then securely. So Linux operating system, right? It facilitates user security systems such as authentication and authorization, especially speaking about authorization. So Linux is very typical in its authorization. So it gives all the permissions only to the root user. Even the root user have to give manually some commands to make an application or a file or a text file or a program to be used efficiently. We must give some commands like chmod. There are various commands actually. So manually, we need to give permission for each and every file in the Linux operating system. And then one more thing is, unlike Windows. So see, for Windows, I have many files here, exe files. So when I go to the downloads, so see, we can see various exe files. When I just double click that, just install, I can install it and go. I don't know whether it's a malware or not. Just it can automatically install the exe file, but Linux is not like that. We should give a separate authorization for the folder and then the file, and then we should give some permission for the file to run in the specific folder. So it's really secured, unlike, because Linux consists of .deb or RPM and then sh script like files. Okay, it's not an exe file. Exe files cannot be run in Linux. There are some ways also for that. Okay, and then shell. Major advantage of Linux operating system is shell using terminals. So you might already use some apps like Termux and all, right? You know about Termux. So Termux is an Android shell. It's a Linux shell actually. So like that, Linux hash, so it has its bash shell. Okay, so the shell is where we use to interact with the kernel manually. So if you want to go to a file, if you want to many hacking tools, if we want to run a hacking tool, we do everything inside a terminal, right? So that's called a shell. So there are various shell languages, and Windows has a shell which is called as CMD. So this is a Windows shell actually. Windows PowerShell. We have PowerShell for Windows. So there's a language, there's a shell scripting language called the PowerShell, PowerShell scripting. Okay. So this is what for Windows. Okay. So this is what a shell is. Okay. We can interact with the kernel directly. So Linux shell is a little advanced, so it has bash in it. Okay. So these are all the advantages of Linux: portable, open source, multi-programming, multi-user, hierarchical file system, security, and a shell. And then Linux distributions. So we have various number of flavors for Linux. Okay. As it is open source, even I, myself, and you can create your own operating system. So you can modify the same Kali Linux, change its logo, change everything, and then use it as your own operating system. You can modify it as you wish. So there are various flavors for Linux like Debian, OpenSUSE, Fedora, Arch, Ubuntu, Xubuntu. So even these has sub distributions like Ubuntu has Xubuntu, Kubuntu, and Debian are Kali Linux, Parrot Linux, Pop! OS. All these comes under Debian, and there are various Linuxes also, which I have not mentioned. And Arch, inside Arch Linux, there are Black Arch, Manjaro Arch, Archstrike. There are various Linuxes and many things. Okay, so this is what. And then based on the user's need, there are various operating systems. That is, if you want a Linux operating system like Windows, we can go for Manjaro, Ubuntu, etc. So for business enterprises, we use Red Hat, such like Linux for configuring the servers, especially. And for hackers and penetration testers, they use Kali, Parrot, Black Arch, Archstrike, even Manjaro, and etc. So, but basically for hacking, the operating system doesn't matter, but still, why we use Kali and especially Parrot? Because why do we select these three operating systems as main for penetration testing? Is in other operating systems except the Kali and Parrot and Black Arch. So in other Linux distributions, we must install the hacking tools manually. But here, a number of tools like 2000 to 3000 tools are pre-installed. So it's easy for us, right? We do not need to install each and every package. So that's why we use these specific distributions, and nothing like you need this operating system for hacking, nothing like that. A true hacker can even hack a system or a server even using a small Raspberry Pi running a Linux server in it. Okay. So then we are going to see about Linux directory structure. What is a directory basically? So in Windows, if you see, right, folders. Folders are called as directories. Folders are called as directories. So desktop is a directory. Downloads is we say folder. So here it's directory. So desktop directory, download directory, documents directory. So where all these, so inside downloads, so let's go here in virtual machines. I have in virtual machine is a directory. It's actually a disk. Inside virtual machine, this is a disk actually. I have a directory called web development. Inside web development, I have three directories: Bootstrap, Carousel, Navbar. So inside Bootstrap, I have three files. Okay, folders are directories, not files. So inside web development, we have Bootstrap, and inside Bootstrap, we have three files. So inside VirtualBox directories, we have many directories. Inside this directory, I have many files. Inside virtual machine directory, I have another directory called ParrotOS. Inside ParrotOS directory, I have another directory called ParrotOS. And inside this directory, I have a directory called logs, and then other three files, like I have the VirtualBox images. So this is what a directory. Directories are folders. So where all these directories are present as a whole, it is in this PC. Where is this PC? In this disk. So when I click this, I can see like here we have the queries, right? Here are the names. So inside this PC, I have virtual machines, I have Steam. So where is Steam? That is inside local disk V, virtual machines, and inside virtual machines, inside the Steam library, I have all these files. So this is what a directory. Directory is a folder. So in Linux, how the directory is designed. So every folders starts from root folder. The root folder is the first folder. Inside root folder, we have many other folders. Okay. So I'm going to explain some of the main folders. Okay. The first folder is home. So inside home folder, that is home directory. Let's call it as a directory. Okay. So inside home directory, we have all the users files. Like here we saw the documents, downloads, pictures, videos. So these directories are inside this PC, right? So let's assume. So all these directories, downloads, pictures are in Linux operating system is present inside the user folder. That user folder is present inside home, and that home is present inside root. And then we have another directory. So as I said, root is the topmost directory in the Linux hierarchy. Okay, this is like a tree structure. So root is from where other things come, and mount. Mount, we have another directory called mount, MNT. Okay, so the mount directory is where all the mounted systems, medias are present. So for example, if I plug a pen drive, right? If I plug a pen drive, so where it is there, it will show in Windows, it will show inside this PC, it will show another pen drive name. So, but in Linux, it will be there in mount directory. So I should go inside the mount folder and then see the pen drive. Okay. And then bin. And there is another directory called lib where libraries are stored. Okay. So these are all some directories. So as I said, so just note this point around the home. So there's a folder directory called root. This is the topmost directory. Inside root, all the other directories are present. So inside root, we have home. Earlier, we have created a user called parrot, right? So inside root, there will be home, and inside home, there will be the username which we have created, anonymous, parrot, whatever the name you give. And inside that name, there will be downloads and everything. So let us see. So now let us see about the basic commands of Linux operating system. Now open the virtual machine, start your Linux, and now I said about the shell, right? A shell is used to interact with the kernel. Okay, every shell has its own language. The Linux is famous for its bash shell. Okay, bash scripting language. Whatever the command we use inside this shell is bash language actually. Okay. So now in Parrot Linux, so or else you can go to applications and you can search for terminal in Kali. In Parrot Linux, here you will see an icon. This icon is the terminal. Okay, open that. So as I said before, right? This is the username and this is the lab computer name. That is the virtual machine name. Okay. So here, as I said before, Linux is famous for its authorization access. Okay. So when in Windows, right, we use administrator privileges. So administrator privileges means sometimes I need to run an application as an administrator. Only then the permissions will be given. Same like in Linux, the sudo was, that is, the root users are given the maximum permissions. Okay. So every time, remember, when you open the terminal, you should type the command sudo space su and press enter. It will ask for the password, give your password, and then press enter. So now we can see our username is changed as root. So now I'm a root user. Okay. So every time I open a terminal, I should type the first command. Every time I should type sudo space su and then type my password. So now we are a root user. We use the command clear to clear the previous records, okay? Previous things which are displayed here. So clear. And then now we are going to look for the basic commands. Okay. The first commands which we are going to look for is ls. So what is ls? ls means list directories. So directories are folders. Now I want to see what are all the directories are present. So when we use the graphical user interface, we open the file manager, right? When we open the file manager, we can see various folders here. So Parrot, desktop, and then we have documents, we have downloads, we have music, we have pictures, videos, etc. So these are all the folders that we have. Folders are directories. So what about the terminal? What about the shell? How do we enter into a directory? Look what is inside in a shell. We use some commands called ls, cd, and then mv, and then cp. So what are all the four commands? So ls is for listing, seeing what are all the directories are present. And then cd is change directory, going into the another folder, and mv for moving a file to another folder, and cp for copying a file. And then there is another command for called pwd. So it says in which directory currently I am. So now let us execute all these commands. The first command which I'm going to give is ls, and then press enter. So when I press ls, I can see various folders that are directories here, right? So see, this says parrot, right? What is parrot? Parrot is the username which we have, okay? Username which we give when we installed our system. Only inside the parrot user, we have all our files. So where is parrot user inside Linux? Parrot user is inside home. Where is home? As I said before, root. Home is inside root. So root is depicted as / in Linux. If you give /, it is, then you will go to the root directory. So as I said before, I showed you, right, the before image. Inside root directory only, you have all other directories. And inside root directory, you will have a directory named home. Inside home directory, you will have your username. Inside your username, you will have all the other directories like which you use in your day-to-day life, like downloads, music, pictures, and etc. Now, this is how we use a graphical user interface. This is how we use a file manager. What about the terminal? So the terminal, we type ls, okay? ls. When I type ls, I can list all the directories which are present inside parent directory. Okay. Now, for example, let us say I want to get inside music folder. So I type cd space music. Note one thing, this music and this music is not same. Linux is actually case sensitive. So when I press enter, it shows me error message showing that no such file or directory. There is no directory inside the path folder named music. Why does it say so? Because it's case sensitive. So the exact spelling is capital M. So I should give cd space music and then press enter. When I press enter, we can see a slight change here. Have you found it? Yeah. So here it was home parrot. Now it has changed to home parrot music. The same way which we use in Windows when we go inside, right? So now I am in this PC. Here it shows this PC. When I go to local disk VMware, it shows here VMware. And when I get into this, it shows here. So the same way in Linux, here now the directory has been changed. So now, if I want to see what are all the files inside music folder, what I should do? The same previous command, ls. When I type ls and press enter, it shows all the files which are inside it. So now inside music, nothing is there. So nothing is being shown. So I want to come back to downloads. If I type cd space downloads, it won't go inside because there's no such file or directory inside music folder named downloads. So where it is actually, where is downloads? It shows here, but not why. But why not here? Because we are inside the music folder. Inside music folder, nothing is there. Okay. Inside music folder, we don't have any folder named downloads. Okay. Here you can see, right? Inside music, we have nothing. So where it is back side. We should go back. Inside downloads, it is there. Inside parent downloads, it's there. So the same way here, it is not there. Nothing. There is no folder named downloads. So I should go back. cd space double dot. Now see, again we have gone inside parent, right? Again we have gone inside parent directory. Now type ls. So now we are able to see again the folders. Okay. So now I want to go inside downloads. What command should I use? cd space downloads. So there are three things. Okay. First is I can copy this and paste this one by right clicking. Or in Linux we just double click and then we use Control Shift plus C, not Control plus C. If you press Control plus C, it will be terminated. Okay. So in Windows, we use Control plus C for copying and Control plus V for pasting. But in Linux, we use Control plus Shift plus C and Control plus Shift plus V for copy paste. So if I want to copy this, double click, Control plus Shift plus C. Now it is being copied. If I want to go inside, CD space, Control plus Shift plus V, and then press Enter. Now I'm inside download folder. So now if I want to see what are all the files inside the downloads, I should type ls and press enter. Now I can see that inside downloads, there are two files, two PDF files. Okay. So these two names are displayed here, right? You can see that. This is one PDF file and this is one PDF file. So this is what, if I want to go back again. So if I want to go to documents, if I type cd space documents, it won't go because there is no such file or directory inside downloads name documents. Where is documents? It is backside. So it is inside the parent. So I should go back to the parent cd space. I can give home parent, or I can just give cd space double dot to go back. So now I'm inside parent folder, parent directory. So I type ls and then I type cd space documents to go inside documents and see. Type ls, so nothing is inside document, so nothing is there. Again, I type c. So if I want to go to the root folder, there are two options. First, I can type cd. Now I'm inside I can type cd space slash. So now if I type cd slash, I'm inside the root folders. Inside root folder, there's a folder called home. I should type cd space home. Or I can type cd space slash home. So this is how we type cd space slash home. If I type cd home, it will go. But how we give us cd space slash home. This is how exactly. Then inside home, we have a username called parent. Inside parent, I have these things. So I type ls, I can see this. And inside these things, I have a folder named downloads. And inside downloads, have these files. So another trick is instead of typing a full name, right, I can type the first letter, that is cd space d. Type D and then press the tab key. So I press the tab key twice. In Kyle, it will work in a single tab key itself, but in Parrot, it works for two. When two times I press the tab key, it shows something like these three. It asks in which folder you want to go. So instead of typing the full name like downloads, I can just type D and press tab. It shows desktop documents and downloads where you want to go, because there are three directories with the starting letter D. So I type DO and then press tab key. Now it says there are two folders with the first letter D and O, first letters D and O. So I press W and then press tab key. So it goes to automatically fills the other remaining words. So this is a trick. So now let's see how to move a file. So example, how to create a file. Okay, first how to create a file. To create a file, we use an editor. Okay, we use editors, nano, space. We are going to create a text file. So what we do is nano space hello.txt. So let's check this again afterwards, okay? Because we will learn about the editors later. Now let's see how to create a folder. To create a folder, we have command mkdir, which means make directory. Okay. To zoom the folder, press Control Shift plus plus, and then to minus Control plus minus. Okay. For zooming, Control Shift plus plus. So now we have various folders here. I want to create a folder named anonymous. So type the command make directory mkdir, and then the name for your folder. I name my folder as anonymous, and then press enter. Now, if we type ls, we can see that a new folder named anonymous has been created. To move inside the folder, we type cd space A, capital A, and then press tab key. Now we are inside the anonymous folder, cd space file. So nothing is inside. So this is up. So for example, now we have created a folder, right? So I want to move this folder inside documents. So what do I do? Type the command mv, which means move. mv space anonymous, the folder name or file name which we want to move. I want to move the file named anonymous to documents. So mv space the folder which I want to move, space to which directory, to which folder I want to move. So this is the folder which I want to move, and where I want to move. I want to move to documents, but I should not give documents as such. I should type /home fully /home /parent /documents. So I'm telling the Linux shell to move the anonymous folder to the documents folder, which is inside home parent. Now press enter. So it has successfully moved. It doesn't show any errors. Type ls to ensure. Now the anonymous folder is gone. It is not here. Where it is, we have moved to documents. So let's go inside documents and check. Type ls. Here we can see the anonymous folder. So again, if I want to move back to parent, type mv space tab, because only one folder is there. So mv space anonymous space, I want to move it to home parent. Press enter. Now, if I type ls, it is not inside the documents. So go back and then check. Here it came. So how to remove this folder? How can I remove this? So to remove this folder, there's a command called rm space -rv. So we should be appropriate with the spaces and case sensitive characters. Okay. So rm space -rv space the folder which I want to move. I want to move the folder name anonymous. So rm space -rv space anonymous, press enter. Now the directory has been removed. So to ensure that, type ls. So it is not there. So it is removed. That's all. So these are all the commands, and then cp. So again, I'm creating a directory named hi, but not hi. I'm creating a folder named data. So here, data, a folder is created. I want to copy this to music folder. Now I'm not going to move. If I use the command mv, the data is deleted from this folder, and then it is not deleted. The data is permanently removed and moved to this another folder. Okay, when you use the mv command, it is moved. It is cut and paste like that. So it is cut paste actually. So when I use the mv command, the folder is moved permanently, totally to the another folder. But what if I want to copy? I want this folder to be present in the parent also, and I want the same folder to copy and paste it in the music. So I use the command cp space data file name, cp space file which I want to move space where I want to move. I want to move it to home parent music. So if I press cp-r. So if we want to move a file, I can use cp. If I want to move a folder, I want to use cp space -r space file name and then directory. So now I press enter. When I give ls, I can see that the data folder is present here, and I go to the music folder. I can see that the data is present here also. Okay, go back, and then I'm removing the data from here, data folder from here, and then I'm going inside the music. It is present here because I have copied and pasted the same folder in two directories. So I'm removing this one. So mv command permanently moves a folder to another location. It moves the folder to another location. It is like cut paste, and cp is copy, which is like copy paste. You can copy the same folder to another folder. So these are all the basic commands of Linux. Now let us see how to use the nano editor. So there are various text editor for Linux. Okay, there are Vim editor, and there are also another open source text editors. Okay, but the inbuilt are two things. One is Vim and then Nano. Nano is really simple. So we use the Nano to open the text editor. Okay, Nano is the command to open the text editor. Press Ctrl plus X to close them. Okay, Ctrl plus X to close. Okay, Control and X. Okay. Now I'm going to create a file named greet.txt. I'm going to create a text file. So how do I create? I'm going to open a text. We need a text editor to type somewhere, right? So type something in it. So the text editor we have in Linux default is Nano. Nano space the file name and the extension. Along with the extension, don't forget. So I'm creating a file named greet.txt. I'm creating a text file. I want to create a text file and I want to give a name for it. The name is greet and then press enter. So nano space file name dot its extension. Press enter. Now it has been opened. Type welcome. So I want to save this, right? So if I want to save this, see, let me open the file manager before that to ensure it's okay. Okay. So now I'm typing welcome to my YouTube channel. So this is what I have typed. Now I want to save these texts as a text file. So I should press Control plus O. Okay, Control plus O. Now press Control plus O. Here it asks. Okay, just press Enter. Press Control plus O and then press Enter. Or else you type Control plus X. So it is asking, do you want to save the modified buffer? Actually, I have opened the text file and I have typed something. So it is automatically the text file has got modified. So it's asking whether to save that. Type Y and then press enter. So that's all. So what I've done here is nano. I opened the file name read. So these are all the text which we have already typed. It has been saved. I'm opening it, typing something inside there, and then I'll press Control plus X. When I press Control plus X, it is asking whether to modify. Just press the button key Y, and it is asking the file name to write. So already we have opened using this file name only. So it is asking whether to write in this file name itself or I want to change. I want to just press enter. Don't do anything. Just press enter again. So it is saved automatically. See, go into the file manager. Here you can see that. Like we are inside music. So where we have created this text file, where we are inside. So there's a command called pwd, which says that present working directory. PWD means present working directory. Currently, I'm in which directory? I'm inside music. So inside music, we have a text file named greet.txt, right? So this is what. These are all the things which I have typed. So it is saved. This is the editor, nano editor, which we can use in the terminal. Let's create another file, Python file. Okay. So I know Python is simple. Okay. So I'm going to create, I'm going to run 10 plus 5 in Python. So how do I do that? What we do in Windows, we use Visual Studio Code or something like that. Even in Parrot, we can use Visual Studio. There is Visual Studio in Parrot also, VS Code. So, but we are going to use the terminal, the shell right now. So I'm going to create a Python file and add 10 plus 5. So how do I do that? First, I need a editor like VS Studio. There is an editor in the Linux, as I said before, called Nano. So type the command nano space the file name. I'm going to create addition dot. That we used file. We created a text file. So we used the extension txt. But what about Python? Python is .py. Everyone knows, right? So addition .py. So this is a Python. I'm typing print 10 plus 5. So that's all. This is the line which I'm using. Type Control plus X, type press Y, press enter. Now the file is saved. Type ls, here you can see the file. If you type ls, you can see the file addition.py. So if you want to run that Python in Linux, you have to type the command Python space addition.py. If I want Python 3, I have to type the command Python 3 addition.py. Okay. Sometimes if Python is not installed, you have to type the command sudo apt get installed Python 1, Python 2, or whichever one you want. Okay. So that's all. So see, Python is not up to date for me also. So I type the command. So let me tell you before that. So we have learned about the command ls, cd, mv, pwd, cp, okay, and then cd space double dot. So this is for listing what are all the directories inside. This is for going inside the directory. This is for moving a file or folder. This is for to check the present working directory, in which directory folder currently I am. This is for copy. This is for going back. So okay, these are all the commands, and we got to learn. We learned about the nanotech, right? Okay. Now uh, there are also some other Linux basic commands which we want to face day to day, which we want to use after opening the terminal, after opening the Linux. Here, if you want to run these commands, what are they? First thing, as I said before, sudo su to become a root user. Only then you will get full permission for your Linux. If you want to perform some hacking things and all, you need this root. You need to be a root user. Okay. So first command is sudo su. Okay. Then how do we update? So in Windows, right, we go here and just type updates. So this is how we update in Windows. We will check for the updates and then we will install it. So what about Linux? So in Linux, this is what we do. We have command called sudo apt update or sudo apt get update. So in parent, we give the command sudo apt update. Sudo apt update. So this command updates our Linux operating system. So basically, we have three commands. Okay, we have three basic commands to update our system currently. So in Windows, there is only one option: check for updates. Everything is up to date. But in Linux, it's not like that. First, you should give all these commands in order. The first command is sudo apt get update. This updates our system, and sudo apt get upgrade, and this upgrades our system, and then sudo apt get dist upgrade. This is distro upgrade distribution. It updates the whole system, and then sudo apt get auto remove, and then sudo apt get upgrade. So these three are update and upgrade commands. Okay, all these should be given in order. Okay, so all these things must be given in order. Okay. Daily, you should use all these commands. So first command is update. So these three commands, 1, 2, 3, these three commands are for updates and upgrades. And the fourth command is auto remove. What is auto remove? So after updating and upgrading our Linux, the old updates will be present in our Linux. So those old updates will not be removed most of the times. It is not removed actually. So we give the command auto remove to remove the old updates packages. Okay, it just occupies the space. So we want to remove those things. And after upgrading and updating our system, we should auto remove the older updates, and then we use the command clean, and after cleaning, we reboot our system to, after rebooting only our updates get 100% finished. Okay, after rebooting only all the updates are will be configured again. Okay, so these three commands are update and upgrade commands. This is for auto remove, which removes the older update packages. This is clean. This cleans our operating system, and reboot, after rebooting our update is successful. Okay, so this is what we are going to do now. Okay. So we give the command sudo apt get update. So after updating, 12 packages are upgraded. So it's actually update, and then it says no. Now sudo apt get update. It has updated all the packages, and at last it says 20 packages can be upgraded. Okay, 20 packages can be upgraded. So after updating, we need to upgrade. So we give sudo apt get upgrade. One more thing is, Kali Linux, we give this command sudo apt get upgrade. But for parrot, we use the command sudo parrot upgrade. Kali Linux, you give sudo apt get upgrade. Okay. But for parrot Linux, you give sudo parrot upgrade. So after updating, we give the command sudo parrot upgrade. So now it upgrades our system. You can see that here, right? So this one upgrades our system. And then after upgrade, we should give dist upgrade. Okay. So you can see that the applications, some softwares are being upgraded. So let's wait for some time. Yeah, now it's started its upgrading process. It's installing. It shows 1 minute here. It depends upon the network's Mbps speed. So this is what, and after upgrading, we give a command called sudo apt get dist upgrade, which means this whole distribution, parent distribution is upgraded. So this is a command. After all these things, we will give a command called sudo apt get auto remove. Auto remove removes all the what does auto remove do? What does auto remove do is it removes the older packages, older updates, and then it also removes the updates which are not well configured. So some updates may have stopped in between, so the packages will be present in the storage. So it removes such kinds of misled applications and updates. So it removes the older packages and misconfigured packages. And then we give sudo apt get clean, sudo apt. So here, many times we get this error, var catch apt achieves. What we should do is just give rm rv var catch apt achieves, and then press enter. So that folder is removed. Now type sudo apt get update. So it will work on sudo apt get clean. So this will clean the system, and then type reboot after updating. So these are all the basic updates and upgrade commands. So as I said before, all these commands should be given in order. Okay. First command is sudo apt get update. Next is sudo apt get upgrade. This is for Kali Linux, and for parrot we give sudo parrot upgrade. Then we use the command sudo apt get dist upgrade, and then the fourth command is sudo apt get auto remove to remove the misconfigured and the updates which have been stopped in between, and to remove the older updates. And then at last we give sudo apt get clean, and then finally we reboot our system to restart the system and configure the updates correctly. So these are all the 5 commands, main 5 commands or 6 commands which we have to give daily to keep our Linux operating system secure and up to date. So now we have seen the basic commands of Linux operating system. So in the next command, we will see about the various tools. Okay. So first we will see about the Nmap, and we will see about all the ethical hacking tools and how to use them and how to penetrate the servers and systems. Okay. Thank you.